lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to Sim Racing Media. We are live here at Dover Downs, Dover Motor Speedway, I think it is now that it's owned by the Speedway Motorsports. We're live here for the EOL Race Wrap Guy Cup Series. 260 laps at the Monster Mile. I'm Liam Irving, joined up in the booth by Alan Bergen. Alan, how's it going tonight?
Oh, I am having a blast here. Dover, Delaware, home of Miles the Monster Mile. Once inside this racetrack with a horse track, now it's a 1 mile concrete oval with an elevation change that will rattle anybody's head here. But nonetheless, that outside wall coming off of turn 2 and off of turn 4 will definitely bite you. And Monsters look, this is a self-cleaning racetrack. But nonetheless, these guys are getting gridded up. I'm ready to go. The Airforce 265 coming at you at Dover.
I cannot wait to see what we get here. 29 drivers ready to roll. It's going to be a long one here tonight, but these drivers are ready for whatever Miles the Monster may deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we get ready, let's go trackside. Liam, let's go over that starting grid.
On the pole, we have Ryan White. Got Greg Wood Jr. to his outside, followed by Noah Jackson and Peyton Holland, taking up row number 2. Brock Whitehead and Tom Bourne in row 3, followed by Matt Davies and Jeff Kleinsma. Joseph Grijalva and Dalton McKinney make up the top 10 here, followed by Chris Hubka and Bill Hagan. We've got Tyler Bentley and Chris Otto making up row number 7, followed by Caleb Collins and Cole Martin. Patrick McQuaid has Justin Hutchison to his outside in row number 9. Zach Woods with Charles Whitehead to his outside in P20. Cameron Coster and Adam Stewart in row number 11. Tim Henderson and last week's winner, Mark Gonzalez, in row 12. Thad Teasley and Charlie Childress make up row 13. Matt Metler and Johnny Williams going to round out the field here. Wes Fuller took a spot in the registry here, but does not have his car on the racetrack at the moment. Keep an eye on that to see if he starts on the pit lane, or we're just going to roll with the 28 drivers here today.
Yeah, 28 drivers, 260 laps on the docket. And Liam, it is go time.
It is. The pace car's made that hard left turn. Ryan White in the 34, going to lead him down. A strong run last week. P2, though, he's going to try to get one more. Green flag in the air, and we are racing problems already. Big time tire spin and a big crash on the start. Chris Hubka's in it. Caleb Collins.
Yeah, here we go. And I got a feeling, Liam, that this is going to happen much further ahead than Matt Metler. As they get going here.
Yeah, the two got sideways. Somebody up in front of him got sideways. Like I said, Hubka.
Let's. I don't like that angle. Let's see.
I don't either. I don't know why he did. Gets the 22. No, it is Hubka that gets sideways first. Tyler Bentley gets up into there. The 45 gets a piece. Cole Martin.
I mean, Liam, that's just cold tires on concrete. I mean, this is already going to be a cheese grater type night anyways. Tires are going to be at a premium.
Yeah, a lot of guys seem to, be caught out by the lack of grip.
Well, we're going to re-rack it and re-stack it once again. Lap 3 of 260. Wow. My math wasn't matching as I just fast forwarded through all races. Here we are under caution for the first time. Liam, I almost Steve Harvey'd this thing.
Oh, yeah?
Almost. Came close, but didn't. And here's the thing, these guys did re-rack and restack. Last week's winner, Mark Gonzalez, towards the back of this field in that 8 car, last week's winner. But you'll notice up there in the front, the second place running driver last week at Watkins Glen, and an absolute slugfest on the last lap is Ryan White in that Whitehead Racing number 34 Toyota.
Yeah, we're going to take another chance here, try to get a start going. Caleb Collins, Cole Martin, Tyler Bentley, Wes Fuller. All going to have significant damage and trying to see if Bentley, I don't know if Bentley's still in this race. It looks like Wes Fuller might still be on the racetrack or somewhere. Cole Martin, I believe, is going to go down a lap after that. So we'll try it again. Re-rack it, restack it. This time around, it'll be on lap number 5 that we take the restart. Great flag back in the air, White. Oh, and
Whoa!
White has gone into the wall. Around goes to 15. What in the world?
Can't seem to get this one going.
Caution out for the second time. This time it's the pole sitter. Getting sideways here. These guys really struggling on these fresh tires.
Well, we saw that one live, so.
Yeah, right in front of our faces there. You saw White got sideways. It looked like quite possibly after a shift, but that car just turned sideways hard into the wall. The 15 went around behind him.
Liam,
Jeff Kleinsma.
I want to go inside the car and see if he possibly missed a shift or not.
That's possible.
Cockpit view there. So here's the replay coming back to green, and
just once he got into that high torque range in second gear, it seemed like the tires just started to spin underneath him and take that grip away.
yeah, absolutely. As we come back to the live picture. Well, maybe Noah Jackson and Brock Whitehead will have a better time at taking off for this next restart.
Well, we're gonna take a look at the YouTube chat here. We've got some fans out here. Okay, Grijalva with the fan. El Paso will be watching. Got a Peyton Holland fan out there. The 7 car says his foot slipped off the brake, and that's why he hit the car in front of him.
Mm.
Johnny Williams towards the back of this field, going to try to get a bit of a recovery effort going. A bizarre start to this event here in Dover Downs.
Yeah, Liam, this is like one of those starts that you see usually at a dirt track, where they get a couple cautions and then they get going, and no, that's what we're gonna retry this here on lap number 10. We should be coming back to green flag racing.
Yeah, we're going to see what we get here. We're going to try this one more time, and if can't get a good restart in, they're going to switch it up to single file. So we shall see. You guys are trying to figure out what the solution's going to be on these restarts. I mean, going to be a little bit of a respecting that egg underneath the throttle pedal there, Alan.
Yes, and that egg is far from hard boiled. So we got a couple guys blinking there. It's the 22 car having a little bit of connection issues.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that with that 22 of Grijalva. Heard from Trey Whitehead that there were going to be some storms kind of going through the northern Texas area.
Yeah.
Not sure if El Paso got any of that at all. That's pretty far from north. You know, it's Texas is huge, so it's not like Minnesota where you can be like, oh yeah, you know, it's right in a little north of the cities. It might be south as well. Texas is definitely huge. Anyways, we'll try this one more time. Okay, green flag. The 22 was in and out there. Everybody going to try to be easy here. 4 wide on the initial, or on this restart. So we are green.
We made it to turn 2.
Once again, you know, a bizarre start here. Looking for Grijalva. He may have fallen out with those connection issues. It'll be a tough situation there. I know he had Joseph up in the chat. Yeah, sorry, they're still looking to see on the timing and scoring, and I haven't seen him move at all. So, gonna be a tough situation there. We'll keep an eye on that. Keep you updated. Noah Jackson continues to lead. He's pulled out about 0.8 of a second over second place Peyton Holland. Peyton got a little bit sideways there on that restart. Looked like the 22 drove into him, but you couldn't really see where he was at that time. Johnny Williams has jumped back to the pits.
Yeah, I think Johnny Williams might be calling it a night with too much damage. But, you know, just kind of looking back there, Tom Bourne, he's putting Dalton McKinney under fire.
Yeah, does a nice job making the move on the low side. Whitehead going to try to follow him through in that 31 machine. Tom Bourne got himself a win a couple of weeks ago. Hoping to work his way forward. He currently sits in the 4th position. Joseph Grijalva has come back to the track. He's coming up off of the pit lane. He's going to be about 4 laps down at this point. But it's early. It's a long way to go, and now we can see if he can get some of those laps back later on in the race.
Yeah, looking a little bit deeper in the field, there's Charles Whitehead in the number 40 car. But just beyond there, Tim Henderson and Cameron Coster, they're in the 2 and 21 car. We're battling it out pretty well. And well, a throwback to Rusty Wallace there in that 2 car.
Oh yeah, that's a really good looking paint scheme back in the early 2000s, late 90s. Always reminds me of Bristol under the lights and maybe getting knocked out of the way by Jeff Gordon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Greg Wood Jr., another one of those drivers, is kind of leaning back, just riding around. And I mean, this is, to me, Liam, this is a rhythm type of racetrack.
It really is. You almost want to race a racetrack more than you race anybody else. As you can really find yourself getting bit if you go too hard. Coming up off of the corner, you can smack that turn 2 wall right there. It's really easy to get. Same deal coming up off of turn 4. I feel like turn 2 is a bit easier to hit. Turn 4, it can definitely slide you coming up off of the corner, and I think you find yourself getting tighter coming up off of 2 and looser coming up off of 4.
Well, Liam, I have a really cool view that the viewers at home can really see what we're talking about here. And that's coming off of turn number 2. You can really see how close these guys get to the outside retaining wall when they're running outside. And that's an elevation. That's an elevation there coming off of turn 2. And the same thing off of turn 4. So when you're pretty much driving uphill at this point.
Yeah, you get that downhill before or as you enter the corner, it kind of drops you down. The car plants, and you're coming up off of the corner, and you got to go up the hill over the crest. It's a unique situation that you deal with here that you don't really deal with anywhere else.
One car that's in the field here tonight made his return to the EOL series, and that's Matt Mettler with the Beast Mode Performance. He has found himself at 13th, up 14 spots from where he started from. I mean, he missed out on Coda, which, they were talking about the road courses there. He races on, he's avoiding, he doesn't like road course racing, which understandably gets kind of taxing. But he said earlier he's kind of coded out, so normally on Wednesday night you can find him racing with the Moonshiners recently. But tonight he's coming over here to have fun with these guys running a part-time schedule.
Yeah, like you said, sitting in the 13th position behind Thad Teasley, just a couple of car lengths in front of him, and he's got Joseph Grijalva coming up behind him. That's not a pass for position, that 22. But that 22 is going to be fast.
Yeah, here he goes, making a move underneath Matt Mettler, like you said.
Oh, sorry, that was Chris Otto.
Oh, that was Chris Otto, okay.
You were right. I thought that was Grijalva there in the 22. Similar looking number styles. But.
Here comes last week's winner, Mark Gonzalez, making a move on Matt Mettler. Matt Mettler going to lose another position. And, here we were watching that race at Watkins Glen last week. And we thought, Mark Gonzalez is going to ride off into the sunset, that race win. But here comes Ryan White, just absolutely putting the pressure on him. Well, that was no shortage of great race there at the end of that on the road course.
Yeah, it was super spectacular stuff. It came down right to the wire. A couple of mistakes out of Mark Gonzalez late almost cost him the race, but able to take it down to the wire. Very exciting fashion here. Now he's trying to get closer to the back bumper of Chris Otto here, trying to make a pass for position. As this whole group here is starting to kind of come together. We've got Greg Wood Jr. at the front of this, and yeah, that 2 car got the wall. That's Cameron Coster.
Yeah, that's that wall coming out to bite that 2 car, just like we said. And, well, Liam, it's almost got him again.
Very easy to do, and now he's going to run the way outside here. I would expect that to kind of tear up some tires, at least early on in the race. It might be able to come back in, or come in a little bit later if more people start to work their way up, which I kind of anticipate. I do kind of anticipate that'll happen naturally throughout the progression of these runs. But we shall see once these guys start really falling off. I mean, last time around, 24:01 for your leader, Noah Jackson. Tom Bourne in second ran a 23:71. So a little bit quicker there than your leader. Yeah, traffic starts to become a factor, Alan, and I know how much you like to talk about lap traffic at a track this small. not a matter of if the leader's going to catch up to lap traffic, it is when. We saw it a couple of weeks ago in Bristol, where it did take us quite some time to get into the lap traffic because of the way that the cautions seem to fall every 20 or so laps. It was right when the leader can start to sniff the tail end of that conveyor belt. You see another caution. Did have a couple of quick yellows here at the beginning, but now we've got ourselves 20 laps consecutive.
Yeah, Liam, and this is one of those tracks that I feel like is a rhythm track. Once these drivers get into that rhythm, and this league has shown it, they can run some pretty clean races here, in this league. And, well, they're showing just how to do it now as we have a driver just inside of, just tag the wall a little bit as we try to find that one out there. But there it is, Tom Bourne trying to run down Noah Jackson.
Peyton Holland with another fan in the chat. Actually, it's the same guy, but he's still rooting him on.
And there's that number 18 car that you mentioned. Peyton Holland. Brock Whitehead is under fire from Patrick McWade, and this is going to be a battle for the 4th position.
I don't know, Joseph Grialva had another Joe Grialva in the chat. Unfortunately, he has dropped due to packet loss once again. So Grialva is currently, we're going to see if he gets back out onto the racetrack, but he's having some sort of issues that are preventing him from keeping that car running. So as of right now, we'll consider him behind the wall. We'll see if they can get that thing back going, or if they've got a terminal issue that they're unable to deal with.
So that put him on the damage clock then?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it was an impact that did it. I think it was just a mechanical failure. So
yeah, it's so to your point, Liam. It is so disheartening whenever you feel confident at a racetrack and you just have that that dreaded internet bug just reach out and bite you, and it's just so frustrating. I mean, you can try to come back and make up points for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate, but you almost got to kind of look at it the same as, if you were to lose a plug wire, then you go down a cylinder. You got to come in, you got to get it fixed. It's going to take a couple laps to get it done, but you get it fixed, you get back out there. I hope you don't have the same problem. If you have the same problem, then it's probably more than just, that initial thing. Though let's take a look back up front. It looks like Tom Bourne has closed in on the back of Noah Jackson here as they're working around some more lapped traffic. They just got around Chris Hubka in the 5. Hubka, of course, involved in that opening start incident there where numerous drivers slipped the rear tires and got all kittywampus every which way that you can. Able to continue on, but not able to get all the damage repair that he wanted to. Unfortunately, goes one lap down now. 36 laps complete here in the Airforce 265 on the EOL Race Wrap Guy Cup Series.
Yeah, Liam, Trey Whitehead does such a great job. So this is the start of their end-season tournament. So this race right here will determine the seeding for those drivers that are going to be competing in this in-season tournament, kind of like they did with the NASCAR Cup Series last year. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and once we get that seeding, once we learn that seeding, we'll definitely pass that on along to you next week. So we'll definitely have lots to talk about in the weeks to come.
Yeah, it's going to be an average finish between this week and next week. That kind of decides the seeding. It'll be great. I'm excited to see what these guys are willing to do. There's $100 on the line. Tell you what, Matt, if I can win $100 on the racetrack, I'm going to race a little bit harder.
I was going to say, I've been in a lot of money races here on iRacing, and you put a little bit of skin in the game, and it's a whole different, you wake up a whole different side of people. And just like
Tom
that,
Bourne.
Tom Bourne, I just took the words right out of your mouth. Tom Bourne, one, has caught Noah Jackson. Two, Noah Jackson has caught Cameron Coster.
Not just Coster. There's a couple more in front of him. Metler, Childress. A couple of cars that could really shake up, make some dirty air. See the 2-car way up the racetrack, Coster is. Trying to work around the outside. Number 10 machine, Justin Hutchison, goes another lap down. Tom Bourne trying a middle lane, going to cut down towards the later side of an apex here. Noah Jackson makes contact with that lapped car coming down the back straightaway. Tom Bourne tried to make a move. Big time reaction there out of Noah Jackson, able to hold on to the lead. And now there's 2 more drivers up in front of him. That's Charlie Childress in the 24, Matt Metler in the 51. How hard did these guys fight to try to stay on the lead lap?
I mean, on lap 43 of a 260 lap race, you're better off just letting them go. Because you might catch a caution. As long as you stay on that first car 1 lap down, you're going to get the free pass when the next caution comes out, if there's another caution. Now, Liam, knock on wood. I'm not jinxing. I'm going to say it. I won't allow myself to.
Still working through these lapped cars, and Tom Bourne going to find himself in a not ideal situation, getting stuck on the inside of that 24. Now he moves up to the outside. He's going to get side by side with Jackson. He finds himself a hole between the 45 and the 87. Where does Metler go? Metler stays low. He stays in the way of Noah Jackson, new leader Tom Bourne. Now Jackson's going to try to work his way up to the outside of Metler. Gets that run there, but Tom Bourne takes over the race lead. Noah Jackson falls back into second.
I have a question for you. If you're Noah Jackson trying to get around Matt Metler and Tom Bourne pass, do you feel that you're a little held up by Matt and, a little upset with Matt? Or do you feel like it's a racing thing that could happen to anybody?
It's a little bit of both. I feel like, on one hand, you could definitely be thinking, well, why'd you have to be in my way? You could have picked his way. You could have just gotten all the way out of the way, but instead you stayed in my way. But at the same time, things happen so fast in these lapping situations. Matt Metler's doing everything he can to try to stay on the lead lap, just in case a caution does come out. He doesn't have to take that free pass. I mean, it's definitely not personal there, but it's going to be frustrating if you're the 87 Noah Jackson and you wanted to try to keep that car behind you before this first pit stop.
Definitely. And here goes Tom Bourne underneath the 15 car of Jeff Kleisma. Charles Whitehead is next to be a lap down to the leader. There's that 40 car. And here comes Tom Bourne just into your picture there, about 3 cars back.
Yeah, he's definitely building a gap now. Last time around, actually Jackson was a little bit quicker as they worked around that Kleinsma machine, but right now, Kleinsma gets the wall right in front of Noah Jackson. That's going to cost him a little bit of time coming down the front straightaway and into turns 1 and 2.
Well, here's one thing we didn't mention too. That's getting on and off pit road. One of the tougher pit roads to get off on. You come off the banking, you got a small opening. You got to get that car down to 35 miles an hour before you get to that commitment cone. Not a whole lot of room to do that with, especially when you're coming off this concrete and onto the asphalt.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of apron that you're going to be able to use. Some guys you might see try to come in early down the back straightaway. Some guys might go as late as right around there. Going to be a tough entry for sure if these guys have to make it under green flag conditions.
So far, and there's Tom Bourne going past the 40 car of, well, almost past the 40 car. Now he's going to pass the 40 car.
Yeah, currently sitting. Oh, is 40 got up into the wall a little bit there, Whitehead. Down to a 1.6 second lead over Noah Jackson, and then it's another 5 seconds back to Matt Davies in third. Brock Whitehead and Patrick McQuaid round out your top 5. Mark Gonzalez has worked his way up to 6th position. He is still 9 seconds behind the lead.
Well, last week's winner, Mark Gonzalez, jumped up 18 spots up to 6th position. Right now, he's our biggest mover of the race, and he is putting the pressure to that 77 car. And Liam, it is no shock that he's running so well on an oval. He's kind of trying to ride that momentum, kind of like your favorite driver, Tyler Reddick, who's won 3 in a row. Shout out to Tyler Reddick for that one. I know Sunday, I didn't get a chance to talk to you too much on Sunday, but I bet you were smiling ear to ear for the 3rd consecutive weekend.
Dude, it's been unbelievable, let me tell you. Never seen it before. I don't think I'll ever see it again. Just got to take what I can get and enjoy it. Gonzalez trying to get around Patrick McQuaid here, right up on the rear bumper, makes an inside move, getting into turn 1. McQuaid all the way up the racetrack. He's going to get a later apex, but Gonzalez quicker through the center, able to take away that 5th place, put him up 19 from the start of this race.
I'm not surprised. I'm not, that car just, that 8 car, Mark Gonzalez just looks like it's on a rail. He's getting around these cars like it's nobody's business here. Like, it's with ease. It's like you can put that car just about wherever he wants, and it's going to make the pass.
He's putting down competitive lap times with the race leaders at the moment. He's 9 seconds behind them. He's going to have a long way to go, but lucky for him, he's still got 200 laps to try to get it done. And well, I know that we saw a lot of cautions early on. It's stretched out now, but you never know what's going to happen in motor racing as there's Coster getting into the wall, coming up off of turn 2, right around the Patrick McQuaid machine.
Yes, we got a couple guys that are lapped down that essentially are in the pits. Cole Martin still in the pits. 10 car Justin Hutchison still on pit road. Johnny Williams in that Southern Motorsports, he's still on pit road. And well, Joseph, I'm going to butcher that one.
Grialva, yeah.
Grialva is still fighting connection issues, probably, and that's so disheartening whenever you have those connection issues. But hopefully he can get back in here and salvage and make up some points at least.
There's Gonzalez to the inside of Brock Whitehead. Right up next to that apron. It's going to say the white line, but there isn't really one there. Gets the pass completed, put him up to P4. 200 laps to go. Noah Jackson out to a 2.5, or Tom Bourne rather leads Noah Jackson by 2.5 seconds, and the caution is out. Trouble on the racetrack with Cole Martin, car number 45, around. He's going to jump straight to the pits.
Yes, we're going to go ahead and see what happened here on that incident with Cole Martin. And oh no.
Oh, man. Ooh, Ryan White almost got his door ripped off there, and it looks like Martin, yeah, he came up off of the pit lane, got that transition, got him sideways. Yeah, Greg Wood Jr. with a pretty good job of avoiding that.
Not bad. We were in 62 laps, I want to say. My math may not be mathing.
Somewhere in the 55 range after that second restart caution there.
And that's why he's a brains.
Come in here, get service done on these machines, led down by Tom Bourne, Noah Jackson, Matt Davies, Mark Gonzalez. Pretty much everybody on the lead lap.
Definitely one of the tighter pit roads that we're going to see all season long. I mean, if Adam Stewart not coming in, came in on lap 2, so he's probably A-okay, I would imagine.
I believe he's a free pass car, so he's going to have to come around
Oh.
next time.
Okay.
So yeah, he's gonna stay behind the pace car. Go and get his lap back, come around, and be good to go. Tom Bourne gonna win the race off of pit road by a pretty hefty margin. Jackson gets second. Davies, Gonzalez, Whitehead, Patrick McQuaid, Delta McKinney, Pat Deasley. After a long run like that, Alan, you're not going to see a lot of guys want to take that wave around.
No.
No, you were cooking those tires, and you know it.
I mean, at least they made this pit stop under caution, because there's a lot you have to do to even come down pit road here, and I know I can't even think that fast. I mean, you're shifting gears, getting the brakes, you got to time everything just perfectly. That's even before you get on the pit road.
Yeah, and you don't want to downshift too soon, get a little wheel hop, you spin that thing out. And we saw how difficult it can be to exit the pits there. If you don't get back up onto the banking, spend too much time on that transition, it could really upset the race car. Now, Alan, remember, we've got cold tires for the first time since the lap 8 restart. And these guys manage the throttle. Be respectful, be mindful of that egg that's going to be underneath the throttle pedal. Try not to crack it.
Yeah, I mean, 55 laps under green last time. The lights are out on that iRacing.com pace car. Tom Bourne and Noah Jackson getting ready to bring the field back to green, and guess who's on the outside second row? There's that 8 car, Mark Gonzalez, last week's winner. Liam, let's go race.
Race car makes that hard left turn. These drivers hoping that they don't make a hard right turn on this restart here. It was treacherous on the initial go of it. Green flag this time around looks a lot better. Everybody able to get through to turn number 1 as Tom Bourne is clear of Noah Jackson getting into the corner. Mark Gonzalez up on the outside of Davies, trying to get clear for third, and it looks like he's going to be able to, but Tom Bourne still under fire from Noah Jackson for the lead. Jackson looking high, he had his nose up there, not quite able to keep the momentum there. He falls back in line once again. See what he can try to set up in these opening laps on these new tires.
Working lap 67. Here comes Matt Davies looking to the inside. Well, he was looking to the inside of Mark Gonzalez. Mark Gonzalez has it. Matt Davies wants it, as we got action all over the racetrack. And Tom Bourne just put the fastest lap down to 22.94. Noah Jackson right there on his tail. Of and Mark Gonzalez right now would be the last spot on the podium. That's the race ended right here. Tom Bourne backing up to 22.94 with a 22.81 that last lap. Gonzalez still making some hay in that third position. 22.71 this time for Tom Bourne on fresh tires. Looking a little bit deeper in the field here, we got a nice little battle here with Greg Wood Jr. and Tad Teasley in that number 33 car. Greg Wood Jr. going to slide up in front of Teasley. right behind all of this.
Things pretty single file here at the moment, but not really letting anybody get away by more than a couple of car lengths. Jack Woods at 60 machine closing in ever so slightly on the back bumper of Thad Teasley, and Teasley hits the wall coming up off of turn number 4. Doesn't seem to have slowed his momentum down too much. He's sure not driving it like it hurt.
No, I mean, and these guys got single filed out pretty quickly here as we got going here, and this is what it takes to run this racetrack. They want to get settled in, they want to find a rhythm in a pretty fast hurry here. As right now, it's Tom Bourne over Noah Jackson by a half a second, or 0.6 of a second rather. There's the eyeball test. And we got a caution once again.
Peyton Holland in the 18.
Let these guys get slowed up there. And
Bill Hagan had something to do with it.
Yeah, let's see what happened to Peyton Holland while these guys get single file behind the face car here.
Like he just got the wall bounced off and the 3 was there. Oh, and up the racetrack in front of Ryan White.
Oh no.
Bill Hagan. And Peyton back down into the inside wall.
Okay, that's where the second crash came from on the Lifetime. Let's we go with Ryan White. This is that Peyton Holland crashes. He knows it's there, and tries to scurry out of the way there. There it is. Oh.
Yeah, and you see the 35 got a big piece of that as well. Wes Fuller, he was upset. And, you know, I hindsight's always 20/20, but I feel like that's a situation where the 3 maybe could have held on to the brakes. The caution was already out. I guess those guys didn't have to be flying in there. But it's not like they were 30 seconds late like Natalie Decker was. Yeah. It's just a bad spot, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this a lot of things can happen really fast on this racetrack. Here as we worked lap 77, the 4th caution of the evening, and well, it's going to be Bourne and Jackson when we go back to green, but Mark Gonzalez up 21 spots with Matt Davies, and you know, it seems like as the runs go on and the tires get worn, you know, Mark Gonzalez just, his car comes to life.
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job as this race has progressed on. It seems like he's figuring stuff out. That car is definitely coming to him, and well, he's gained 21 spots throughout the course of this race. Obviously, some of that was to do with some of the calamity we saw on the initial start, but he's continued to drive his way up through the field. Now sits in 3rd place behind the 2 cars that we have seen to be the best so far. We get another restart here, double file. They've got a couple more laps on the tires than they did on those previous restarts, so I'm not as concerned with the tire spin. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a picture-perfect situation either.
It's going to be about as picture perfect as you can get there.
Is there such a thing at Dover Motor Speedway?
No, not really. I mean, look, I'm a fan of the concrete tracks over asphalt, but you know, I am a dirt guy, and I really like the fact you can slip and slide around this racetrack, and I mean, you can hustle these cars around here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. The lights are out. It's going to be Tom Bourne and Noah Jackson bringing us back to green. iRacing pace car gives that control. We are back to green flag racing here at lap number 78.
Good start here by everybody once again. Tom Bourne able to get away. He's got a car length and a half over Noah Jackson, but Jackson's going to get himself a nice run down this back straightaway. Is it going to be enough to get close enough to make a move? Not quite. They're side by side near. Here's Davies and Whitehead trying to decide who's going to be in fourth place. Davies with the run up on the outside of Whitehead. Going to be able to hold him off. Patrick McQuaid way up the racetrack. He's going to come back down, get in front of Thad Teasley. But Teasley, I think, has a good car. He's going to defend here from Dalton McKenney.
Absolutely.
You know, McKenney's got some talent behind the wheel. Right now he's sitting just outside the top 5. He's currently in 8th. Watching these guys get side by side in front of him.
I like this battle going on between Teasley and Patrick McQuaid. And here comes Dalton McKinney, entering him into that mix. And just as I said, entered Greg Wood Jr. in there.
Yeah, Greg Wood moves down to the bottom, trying to take away a spot here in... That would have been... he's got the 7th position. Patrick McQuaid looking down to the inside of Teasley. Quite enough to make something happen there, but Mark Gonzalez was able to get around Noah Jackson for 2nd place.
And Mark Gonzalez trying to make himself a repeat winner here this season after winning last week at Watkins Glen. He's got 2nd. He's looking for more.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal run at Watkins Glen just a week ago. Super dominant. Now it's taken him about 83, 84 laps, but he's up to 2nd place. We'll see what he can do as they work through some of this lap traffic. Almost runs into the back there of the 45 of Cole Morton.
Martin can get out of the way, and it is clear sailing for Mark Gonzalez as he tries to run down that 16 car. You can see that it's around a 1 second interval. There's the eyeball test.
Yeah, we'll just keep an eye on these lap times and on the gap. Last time by, it was advantage for Tom Bourne, but now it's clear track, nothing in between them. Noah Jackson tried to stay with these guys.
Right down that back straightaway. And Liam, this track actually looks a lot wider than it is.
Yeah, those walls will come at you in a hurry. It looks like it's got some width to it, but it really could throw you for a loop. Last couple of times by, Tom Bourne has gapped Mark Gonzalez by a 1/10 and a half. Gap sits right around 1.3, 1.4. 16 looking pretty good coming up off of turn number 4 that time.
There's that 8 car, the Oreo Cookies car, and Noah Jackson trying to battle back and answer back to the 8 car. As we got Matt Davies in sole possession of 4th place. Ooh, right off the wall.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be easy to do that here. And you don't want to risk doing too many wall pops because you never know which one is going to break that right side suspension. Break that toe link out of alignment and really compromise your steering.
91, and we had those 2 quick cautions there. Only 4 cautions on the whole night. Let's take a look at that race recap right now. 4 cautions, 12 lap, 2 lead changes. Tom Bourne is the current leader right now.
Yeah, a bit of a bizarre start that we had here. First couple of attempts at the start, we saw guys spinning the tires as if the track was wet. Got it down on the 3rd try though, and here we are on lap number 93. Just past the 1/3 mark of the way through this race.
That 3rd time to charm, man. Tom Bourne has gapped Mark Gonzalez to 1.3 second lead. Now it's 1.2, and that's almost like they're playing tug of war. It almost seems like Tom Bourne is getting off turn 3 and 4 just a little bit better than Mark. Mark is getting a better entry.
Yeah, he is getting a better entry, and the lap times have actually started to shift a little bit over the course of these last 2. Gonzalez is just a couple of tenths quicker. 1/10 that last time, 1/10 the time before. He's got it back down to a 2.25 after it was almost at 1.5, so things shifted around just a little bit. It could just be the lines that these guys are running, or maybe Gonzalez, or rather Tom Bourne, is just comfortable with this type of a lead and is okay backing off just a hair more.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, Saturday night, you can join Mike Damani and Colin McDonough at Las Vegas for the ECR Bowton Express LLC ECR Next Gen Cup Series at 8:15 Central, 9:15 Eastern. Liam, that's been a good season. It's been good to watch all season long with those group of guys over there. And then on Sunday night, you catch Liam and myself here on the Icon Cup Series. We had the Phoenix. And last night, Liam, we saw a number of drivers from the Icon Cup Series jump into that Western States Racing League because they were at Phoenix last night. And what do you think they learned for this race coming up on Sunday? For the drivers that race over there at Icon.
Phoenix is a tough track. It's going to be really easy to find yourself getting sideways on the throttle input. And I think these guys are going to be in for a show. It's definitely not going to come easy. I would definitely think twice about using that dog leg in these cars too. It can really upset you, really upset the car.
I found that out the hard way last night myself. But right now, Tom Bourne is getting under fire from Mark Gonzalez. Liam, Mark Gonzalez has all been caught. Tom Bourne, and well, it's only a half second now.
Yeah, lap times have definitely shifted in favor of Mark Gonzalez here. About a tenth quicker every time. It's only going to be a few more laps before he gets to the rear bumper of that 16. And then we've got a whole nother set of questions to ask. You know, where does he go? Does he try the inside, the outside? How hard is that 16 going to try to defend? We know it's difficult to complete a pass here, but it's not impossible.
I mean, Mark Gonzalez has done it 22 times. Why not make it 23?
Mark Gonzalez trying to take the lead and make it 23, and then me.
I like that.
I thought you might.
Oh, Liam.
If he takes the lead, it'll be 23 and me for Mark Gonzalez. He's going to have to change his paint scheme next week. Then I'll have a photo finish with the Ancestry car. He's getting there, man. He's less than 2/10 behind him. You can tell that old eyeball test that you like to talk about. It's down to about 2 car lengths. Coming up off of turn number 2, Gonzalez gets a nice run, but Tom Boren seems to be able to get just a slightly narrower exit off of turn number 2, really off of both of these corners.
Okay, so now we got another issue here. Now we got a lap car coming into the factory. Now, if you're Charles Whitehead here in 40 car.
No, that's Charlie Childress. He's already a lap down. Expect him to stay high here, stay out of the way.
Okay, good.
Charles Whitehead, you're right. I mean, he's about 8 seconds up the road, but once they catch him, that's going to be a whole nother set of questions because he's not going to want to let these guys by. He's trying to chase down Adam Stewart in front of him. So he doesn't have to worry about this free pass situation for a little bit more time.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've been pondering myself as we watch Tom Bourne and Mark Gonzalez. There's Caden Coster there. The Cameron Coster. Cameron. Give me.
Sometimes I want to say Kevin Costner, and I know it's not. This is not the Field of Dreams. This is the Downs of Dover, but it's still in my brain. This time Tom Boren, once again, with the narrower exit. See if the two is going to move up out of the way here. They come back down the racetrack. Now he's going to stay up there, slow down, stay out of the leader's way. These guys have gotten almost 4 seconds on Noah Jackson behind him. Matt Davies about 2 more seconds behind Noah, with Thad Daisley all over his rear bumper. Go back another half a second or so to Greg Wood, where he's got Chris Otto and Patrick McQuaid giving chase to him. And it's another 1.5 seconds back to Zach Woods, who is just on the outside of the top 10, trying to work his way from the outside in. Now this is, Alan, where I think it's going to be tough to pass, right?
Yeah.
We know that Tom Bourne machine is quick. We know Mark Gonzalez has been a little bit quicker. But once he's gotten to this about 0.3 of a second mark, staying in the wake of that 16, he's not really able to close in much more. We saw him down at 0.2. He's closed in that time coming up off of turn 2. Now he slides up a little bit in the middle of the corner, trying to set up an exit here.
Well, yeah, these guys get
Just
closer.
can't quite close in.
As these guys get closer and closer to Charles Whitehead, Mark Gonzalez is going to be trying to figure out which direction he needs to go. Does he go down the track? Does he go up the track? He doesn't know. Because he doesn't know what Charles Whitehead and Adam Stewart are going to do when they get there. That's going to leave us 12 cars a lap on the lead lap there. As it looks like this is Matt Mettler ahead of these two.
Yeah, Mettler. He's not gonna want to be in the way of these guys. He's probably getting on the radio, figuring out where they're gonna want him. Also got 15 machine of Kleinsma. Whoa, right in front of Matt Mettler. Those guys are racing for position. Currently sitting a lap down, going to be a second lap down. This could be the break in the air that the 8 needs to try to get up to and around this 16 machine. Now that the 16 is getting into some dirty air, disrupts his corner flow just as much as the 8, and it almost kind of becomes back to an equal ground situation. That clean air advantage disappears.
Definitely, and I think we're about to get our answer here as Mark Gonzalez looks a little high there on the racetrack.
Gets a nice run down the back, and Matt Mettler, he's going to stay on the bottom in front of Tom Bourne. Slides up the racetrack just a little bit, and Mettler's going to get the wall right in front of the race leader. Now he stays up and out of the way of these guys. Through that situation, the advantage goes to Tom Bourne just a little bit, but by about 1/10. He's going to be able to pull out his lead. Now he's got Kleinsma in front of him. Kleinsma is also 1 lap down.
Definitely got to do this efficiently. Kleinsma's going to go ahead, and I think he's going to probably move up the racetrack, let these guys scoot on by. And Charles Whitehead should be the next car in front of these guys.
Now Kleinsma got to try to find a slot in between and then do the same thing in turns 1 and 2. Just get out of the way of Gonzalez. Not lose a lot of time. He was really trying to defend for Matt Mettler. Able to get a huge gap between those two as Brock Whitehead and Matt Davies are now racing for 5th.
And here's that battle here. So we got Greg Wood Jr. getting into the mix back here as well. That Busch Light Machine showing the way here in that mix.
Yeah, and it seems like these guys are all trying to jump from the top to the bottom to get that run coming off the corner. Whitehead almost had the pass completed. He had his nose out in front of that 32 for a moment right before we switched back the camera here, and now he's going to try to set himself up. That pass once again goes up the racetrack. Greg Wood looks about a lane lower. Back down to get a nice run on exit. It's going to allow him to close in just a couple hundredths, but is it going to be enough? Greg Wood now puts him under fire. Wood versus Whitehead coming up off of the corner. There's going to be contact.
Good touch.
Touching again there with McKinney.
And Liam, they were touching, loving, and squeezing. They're going to go 3 wide.
There goes Otto down to the bottom. He sends it in. Slides up the racetrack. Gotta park it in front of those two and say thanks. You know, well, you guys decide this. I'm gonna go right on by.
In the dirt world, we call that a 2-for-1 special.
A little more contact there with McKinney and Wood, and I think McKinney thinks that was intentional or something. That door contact on the front straightaway. Whitehead and Wood had made contact on the front straightaway, and Wood trying to get back up. Yeah, McKinney definitely thinks that was on purpose, or at least it rubbed him the wrong way, but it was purely incidental there.
It's fun for us to watch. We just had a pass for the lead. Liam, let's go back and see how this took place.
Just like you had, just like you had kind of predicted, to get up to that 40, and it gives Gonzalez the chance. A little bit of contact. Puts the 40 up the racetrack. All right, Gonzalez takes over the race lead, and he's already out to a 1.3 second lead over Tom Bourne as we approach the halfway point in this race. It'll be 5 laps away from halfway when we cross the start-finish line this time around. Let's go ahead and take a look at our race recap once again. You know, we've got those 4 cautions for, 12 laps, I believe. Leader right now is Mark Gonzalez. We've had 3 lead changes, 3 different leaders. Tom Bourne, 4 technically. Noah Jackson led the race after technically the second caution of the race, where Ryan White, the pole sitter, got the tires spun and turned it into the outside wall.
Tough brick for some of those guys, and Mark Gonzalez out there making it happen. As that car is on rails, he's drove it out to a 2-second lead, and he is coming up on Adam Stewart there in the 4 car.
Yeah, Adam Stewart will be the next one to go a lap down. Hutchison, who's numerous laps down at this point, getting out of his way there. Then I believe we got Coster once again, then Childress, Wes Fuller.
Bourne just, or Mark Gonzalez rather, just putting on a clinic here on getting around lap cars. It's now a 2.5 second lead. There's Noah Jackson in third position. He's trying to get around Kleinsma. And Liam, is it any surprise to you that these guys are just about single filed out all the way around the racetrack?
No, I think at this stage in the game, you had that early attrition and a lot of bigger names that you expected to run well. Got some damage. We've got Tyler Bentley is out of the race already. Johnny Williams took an early exit along with Joseph Grijalva, Cole Martin, Bill Hagan, Chris Hubka. Ryan White, your pole sitter. I mean, those are guys that are all outside of the top 20 that we expected. Peyton Holland as well, that we really expected to do well in this race. And you know, when you get those guys that are going to be laps down and already damaged, for lack of a better comparison, it almost starts to look more like an ARCA race out there, where you've got a bunch of guys that are, you know, unfortunately they just can't bring the pace at the moment because their cars are damaged. So, you know, you get a bit more spread, but we do have a battle here with McQuaid and Whitehead heating up here, side by side, coming up off of turn number 4. Davies trying to defend from McQuaid and Whitehead a little bit further back. Greg Wood just in front of these guys. Dalton McKinney coming up off of the pit lane.
Got a lot here with Greg Wood Jr. and Patrick McQuaid. Patrick McQuaid trying to answer back. Well, I tell you what, Liam, this has been a fun first half of the race. But we need to go to break and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. We're going to go side by side. You want and we'll be right back.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
welcome back to Dover, Delaware. We're racing here in the Airforce 265, lap 144. Alan Berg and Liam Irving up in the booth as we are knee deep in the pit stops. Mark Gonzalez in third position right now, one lap down. Just two cars. Greg Wood leading this piece, has lapped the field here prior to the pit stop cycling out.
Yeah, and if he were to get a caution at this stage in the game, that would really put him in the driver's seat. He'd be able to come in and take fresh tires and still hold on to this race lead. He would have himself about a 5 to 6 lap tire advantage, as of right now at least, on the rest of the field. Although it looks like he's going to come into the pits this time. He missed most of the green flag pit stops there, but kind of seemed like a mixed bag of whether or not drivers were going to come in from the banking in turns 3 and 4, or if they were going to try to get a low entry and get that done early. Greg Wood takes himself into the pits. He's still leading this race as Mark Gonzalez works his way down the back straightaway. Gonzalez has about 4.5 seconds over Tom Bourne. And it's another 1.5 seconds back to Noah Jackson.
Now, Liam, as a driver, I don't like to do anything fast. Obviously, I don't like to race fast, but nonetheless, if it's me, I'm going to make that early entrance on the pit road. Not going to wait too late because you run the risk of, one, locking the tires up, spinning out, or speeding down pit road as one of the most dangerous pit roads to get on and off of, as we alluded to at the top of the show. So I'm that conservative driver who's going to make an early entrance, stay low, and I'm sure you're more of a risk taker behind the wheel. I've never been on the racetrack with you, but I'm betting dollars you don't cheer a risk taker on the racetrack. You're going to make that lead.
Well, let me tell you, Alan, you want to try, it's a catch-22. You want to try to get in there as late as you possibly can, but at the same time, you do not want to risk a 40-second or 20-second penalty, whatever it's going to be, whether it's a drive-through or a stop-and-go. You do not want to risk losing potentially a lap for gaining a second. So you can definitely lose a race on pit road, but you're more likely to lose it if you find yourself getting a penalty for speeding on entry.
Kind of like what Brock Whitehead did in that number 31 car. He's effectively down 13 spots, and he is now 18th with the black flag. I imagine that was for a speeding penalty, but he is still on pit road. Ooh!
Catchy moment there coming up off of turn number 4 as Gonzalez caught the back bumper of Charlie Childress at a very inopportune time.
Only 150 laps in the history books here. Working lap 151. Say that 5 times fast. Tom Bourne, as you said, 4 seconds behind.
Whoop.
Mark Gonzalez gonna get loose.
Working the outside now of Dalton McKinney, going to put him down a lap. Now there's 8 on the lead lap.
And just as we showed, here's this battle right now between Patrick McQuaid and Matt Davies. And you can almost enter in Zach Woods into that conversation.
Yeah, he's definitely closed in on the back of these guys over the course of these last few laps. He's been a little bit quicker, about a 1/10 per lap. We talked about it already. Once you get within that 2/10 of a second range, it's almost like this bubble. It's just tough to be able to put the power down and keep those runs coming up off the corner.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're Patrick McQuaid, Matt Davies or Zach Woods, you're definitely watching that relative. Where Mark Gonzalez might be at on the racetrack and compared to where you're at. And so that's kind of making these guys hustle because whenever Mark Gonzalez gets to these 3, These guys are all three battling for position.
As Woods looked down to the inside there for a moment of Davies, nothing doing for the time being. These guys only about a second up the road from Greg Wood Jr. Imagine he'll be knocking on the door of this battle in no time.
He's going to be knocking on the door, and he's going to be walking right through that door. Zach Wood, we're going to stick with this battle just a little bit longer and see if Zach Wood can materialize anything with Matt Davies.
That last time around, Greg Wood Jr. was quicker than all three of them.
He's definitely showing that. Here comes Zach Wood right to the back bumper of Matt Davies, but here comes Greg Wood Jr.
Greg Wood trying to set himself up a nice run coming up off a 2. Trying to chase down the 60 of Zach Wood. Or Zach Woods, rather. He's going to move down to the inside. Wood versus Woods. But Greg Wood up one more spot. He's going to find himself in 7th place.
Zach Woods trying to answer back to Greg Wood Jr. It's a battle of the woods, like you said, Liam. But Greg Wood Jr. going to go after Matt Davies on the inside.
Yeah, Woods. Greg Wood has about 8 lap fresher tires than the guys he's racing around right now. So that's going to be an advantage in his favor. Now he's going to try to get that big wide run coming up off of turn 2. Gets a nice run on Matt Davies. Looks down to the inside. He's going to dive it in there, but Davies sends it in as well. Center speed rocks for that 67, and he's going to be able to get in front. Here comes Davies. Thought about a crossover. Woods down to the inside. He thought about it as well. Now 3 different lines being taken through turns 1 and 2. Greg Wood tries to set himself up to pass Patrick McQuaid for a top 5 position here.
Yeah, here we go. Greg Wood Jr. closing in on Patrick McQuaid. Coming out of turn 3 and 4. Greg Wood Jr. got that car on the rail as he is looking for 5th and maybe a little bit more.
Closing in once again. He gets that really nice run coming up off of turn 2. McQuaid gives him the bottom. Center speed continues to be just enough for Greg to make that pass. So you see Davies bounce it off the wall coming up off of turn 4. It looked like a significant hit. We'll see if that slows his momentum throughout the course of this race. Right now still trying to keep Zach Woods behind him.
And there's that number 32 car. I love that Busch Light paint scheme. It reminds me of the tall, cool one, Bob Pearson back in the day. Here comes Zach Wood. Zach Wood's going underneath him out of that spin move racing.
And he's going to complete that pass. Just as he does that, Mark Gonzalez starts closing in right behind these guys. Insert the Jaws theme.
I'm gonna insert Mark Gonzalez and behind that 32 car. If I insert the Jaws theme, well, I can't carry tuna in a bucket. So.
Gonzalez moves down to the inside of Davies. Guys getting real tight with each other coming up off of the corner. Davies doesn't want to go a lap down. Gonzalez going to be able to get clear now. 7 drivers left on the lead lap. Gonzalez leads this race by 5 3/4 seconds. With 94 laps to go across the stripe.
Yeah, and the next car to go let down, there he is, Zach Woods. Now, is this the race where Mark Gonzalez just rides off into the sunset and laps everybody? Because this is about as smooth as he looked on at Watkins Glen last week.
That's definitely possible. It's not over till it's over. We still got a long way to go. We're just about 2/3 of the way through this race, so don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But for right now, Gonzalez is looking really stout, although it does seem like he's struggling just a hair to get around some of these lap cars in front of him.
Well, you know what to say, Liam. The closer you get to the front, the harder the cars are to pass. And, you know, as much as I've been saying here for the last 100 or so laps that Mark Gonzalez has that car on a rail, well, Zach Woods Jr. not going down without a fight.
Zach Woods doing a pretty good job here trying to hold on to that lead lap. Mark Gonzalez is saying, come on, man, I passed you already. Let me just do it again. So that's what he's doing. He's passed almost all of these drivers already once. Passed them for position. Now he's trying to put them a lap down as he gets down to the inside of Zach Woods to try to use that center speed to get clear, but he doesn't really have the same center speed that Greg Wood Jr. had in the 67. He's going to work down to the inside and continue that fight to put the 60 a lap down, completes the pass. Now there are 6 on the lead lap.
This is insane right now. If a caution comes out, Zach Woods would be your lucky dog. And he's got his sights set on Patrick McQuaid here. And that number 77 car here at lap 172. We're nearing the end of this one here, Liam, and what an incredible race so far. We got our biggest gainers there, you see. You know, Mark Gonzalez up 23 spots, tapped easily. And that 4th position is up 21. Matt Mettler making the list there. He's in 13th right now, and he's gained 14th. Wes Fuller has gained 14th. He's back there at 15th. And 4-car Adam Stewart in 9th position, currently up 13 spots.
Here comes Gonzalez on McQuaid, trying to put him a lap down. Looks like he's going to be able to get that done this time around, and now there's just 5 on the lead lap.
Run, Greg, run.
He can run, but I don't know if he can hide.
Oh, definitely not.
Peyton Holland in the 18, running in 18th place right now. He's a couple of laps down. Numerous laps down, got some damage repaired on that thing, and now he's out there running for points. Got a couple of laps before he catches up to Justin Hutchison, but that 18 doesn't look too bad, whereas I know that the 10's got some damage on him yet.
Yeah, there's that.
Holland's gonna... Yeah, he's going to get around Greg Wood Jr. That's going to set up Gonzalez. And he's only about 3/4 of a second back on the racetrack. Wood try to work the inside now. Peyton Holland working to the outside now. Justin Hutchison. 4 laps between them, now 3 as the 18 gets around. Like Peyton knows it. He knew the significance. Gonzalez closing in on the back bumper of 5th place, Greg Wood Jr. Dominating performance here so far for the 8. He dives it down to the inside. Wood all the way up to the top. Oh, Fuller gets into the wall big time. He's going to cause some stack up down the back straightaway. Patrick McQuaid had to check up big time. Everybody gets through. That was almost a pretty big incident there. McKinney and Greg Wood. Those guys made contact earlier. Wonder how nice they'll play with each other. Seems like they're A-okay.
Yeah.
4 drivers left on the lead lap. Mark Gonzalez, Tom Bourne, Noah Jackson, and Thad Teasley. 7 seconds is the lead for Mark Gonzalez. Still got one more pit stop coming our way. 80 laps remaining here. 78 to be exact when we cross the stripe.
Well, that is one fast cookie there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Liam. I thought Noah Jackson was the odds-on favorite in this race. I could have never, if you would have told me an hour and a half ago that Mark Gonzalez would have drove through the field and taken over the race lead, I would have called you crazy.
Yeah, it's certainly not what I expected when I saw him 24th on the grid, but, you know, didn't take a qualifying lap. That doesn't mean he's not going to be fast. Now Gonzalez is just lighting it up. 3/10 over Tom Bourne that last time. Noah Jackson is actually starting to close in on the 16 of Tom Bourne. Gap right now sits around 3.2 seconds. Be a tough spot to catch Kleinsma there.
Right now,
Really bad aero spot. That tightened him up coming up off the corner, and I thought they were going to hit.
right now, if the caution were to come out, Greg Wood Jr. would be your lucky dog.
From 5th place. Just absolutely impressive stuff out of that 8 machine. Those guys have everything on lock. They got the pit stop down pat. Still going to have to make one more. We're not sure if that'll happen under green flag or yellow flag conditions. But with these guys having come in on lap 138, 139, I would imagine we're probably 10 to 15 laps away from these guys making the final stop under green if we don't see a yellow flag.
If we see yellow flag, Greg Wood Jr. would be the beneficiary of it. But, I mean, let's see what we're calling back. Nonetheless, 188 laps being worked right now. 187 are in the history books. It's been the Mark Gonzalez show for a while now.
And we do just want to give you guys an update with Bill Hagan. He has jumped up on the chat. Sorry, it's been a little while since we jumped on here. But he said his brakes were locked up on the 3 car. Nothing he could do from sliding up the track. And if you look at his telemetry, we will see full brakes. Brakes were just broke. And, I mean, the car was broke after the ARCA brake. ARCA braking finished him up. So, there's the explanation from the 3 machine for that incident on the front stretch and why he's going to be out of the race after that. Now, that was a long time ago, but I know I mentioned I was questioning why he didn't have the brakes locked down, but he said that he was full on the brakes. It just wasn't stopping. So that makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
If the brakes do not work, your car will not stop.
Oh, we're not missing anything up here in the front of the field. Mark Gonzalez out to a 8-second lead there. Tom Bourne is trying to make up a lot of that time.
Yeah, he's really trying to make hay, but he's going the wrong way. It's up to 9 seconds now. And it's under 3 seconds of a gap behind him to Noah Jackson. 2 and 3/4 second now separate the 16 and the 87. It's a little gaggle of cars here. Ryan White on the inside of Justin Hutchison, it looks like. A lot of guys in different situations here. There's Matt Mettler down on the inside, just coming up off of the pit lane, staying out of the way. I believe that was Matt Mettler.
It might have been. He's numerous laps down with that meatball flag.
Yeah, he must have got the wall somewhere.
I think his fun meter just about pegged out for the night.
I wonder if he maybe blew a tire or something, because that, I mean, if he's got a meatball, that car looks okay. Doesn't look like he hit anything. Unless he's got a tire down or a blown engine.
I mean, I don't see any smoke, so maybe they fix it and they get him back out there. You may be right. Maybe it's the tire gone down and he's gonna drive away.
Well, that should effectively open up the window. No, he's not a lead lap car by any stretch of the means, but you know, we're looking at about 65 to go. These guys have run about 60 laps, almost 60 laps on this last run, so getting pretty close to the spot where you'd want to split it in half.
And that car, that 8 car right there, has been the star of the show all night long.
I think something may have happened here with Tom Boren. He lost second place to Noah Jackson, and he has lost a significant amount of time. He's now lost third to Thad Teasley. 16's coming into the pits. Yeah, he started losing a lot of time quick, and I wonder if he missed pit lane. That's why he lost so much time, had to come back around another lap. Now, if you're Mark Gonzalez, you've got a 13-second lead. At this point, it's all on merit. There's no reason to do anything to, you know, create any sort of risk. You don't have to try to undercut, because you cannot be undercut at 13 seconds.
No,
you don't need to overdo your car because your gap is 13 seconds. I mean, that is a huge number on a mile-long racetrack. That's over half a lap. And if Gonzalez keeps hitting his marks like this, it's going to take a lot to get this done.
Noah Jackson there and that number 87 car is almost 13 and a half seconds behind Liam, let's go ahead and take our second commercial break here for the night, and this will be our money stop, so we can bring you the last 65 laps caution curtain. So we're gonna step aside, pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. We'll be right.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
welcome back to Dover, Delaware. As we are just starting green flag pit stops, you are looking at Mark Gonzalez. Greg Wood Jr. has now taken over the race lead. Mark Gonzalez giving up the race lead here to come back on the pit road. And the interval now is 20 seconds, 21. Once Greg Wood goes into the pit, that should cycle Mark Gonzalez back to your race lead. Alan Bergen in alongside Liam Ervig. Liam, we are 211 laps into this, and we've been watching the Mark Gonzalez show for the last 100 or so laps.
Yeah, he really has been putting on a clinic, and yeah, I mean, everybody but the top 5 is 1 lap down, and when Greg Wood Jr. comes in to make his pit stop, you got to believe he's going to be a lap down as well, quite possibly putting that down to 4 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, here comes Mark Gonzalez getting ready to put Kleinsma and Woods another lap down. They're going to be 2 laps down whenever he goes by Greg Wood Jr.
Wood into the pits, Gonzalez back into the lead. Tom Bourne was able to get back around Noah Jackson. But he's only got about a second of an advantage, and Jackson's got much fresher tires. Let's go ahead and take a look at that battle for what will effectively be the second place. Tom Bourne and Noah Jackson. Noah's gained a couple of tenths in that lap. Could we see if we can get on board with that 87 machine and watch how quickly that Tom Bourne machine grows in front of him.
Definitely high on the roof of that 87 car. And you can just see that interval just close ever so slightly.
There's 2 things that I want to bring up here, Alan. First off, like you talked about at the beginning of the show, that right there, that elevation, that drop into the corner, and now he's going to get up off of the corner and come up the hill, up and over that crest as he's going to make this pass for second place. Huge run for Noah coming up off of the corner, and there's nothing Tom can do to keep those fresh tires behind him. But the other thing that I want to bring up is that I talked at maybe around the 40 or 50 lap mark about how this track is going to naturally widen out. I didn't think that it was going to happen super early, but as you ride on board now with this 16 machine, you can see just how wide the dark patch on this racetrack is. It's going all the way up to about a groove underneath the wall. As these tires wear down, these guys are going to be searching for grip. You get later on in this race like we are now, you're going to be able to find grip almost anywhere that the driver in front of you is not.
Definitely, that is the 36 car right above in front of Tom Bourne. But, you know, as we noted on it earlier, Mark Gonzalez, some of these lap cars are not going to let Tom Bourne or Noah Jackson around them easily. As Noah Jackson trying to make up an 8 to 16-second gap on Mark Gonzalez. Let's go back up forward with them for a little bit. And I gotta believe that he is shifting.
Oh, 1,000%. Oh, he's not.
No.
All right. I definitely thought he was getting down into 4th gear for the middle of these quarters to get himself that drive off, but especially with that run that he was getting, I guess I didn't hear him shift coming up off of the corner, but that run that he got on Tom Bourne kind of led me to believe that.
We got to see here back on board with Tom Bourne. And then number 6.
He's not shifting either.
No, and it's kind of crazy because to me this is like a shifting type track.
I think early on in these runs you'll see these guys shifting, and I know we were hearing some shifting earlier in the race, but
There we go. There it is.
yeah, he's trying something now. He worked with not shifting for a couple of laps. try shifting this time, see if it improves or changes his lap times in any way.
I mean, he ran a 2270 last time.
Yeah. Not awful. I mean, he's got Thad Teasley about 4 seconds behind him. With just under 40 laps to go, he's going to have... It's going to be close to see if he can keep him behind him. He's going to have to keep these lap times pretty consistent and hope that Thad Teasley machine can't take advantage.
Speaking of Thad Teasley, he is right here behind the 8 car of Mark Gonzalez, who now put him a lap down in that Budweiser car. It's going to be I would love to see a battle of the beer cans.
A couple of gaggles right in front of and right behind your leader. There are 3 drivers on the lead lap. Mark Gonzalez, Noah Jackson, and Tom Bourne.
Breaking news coming out of the garage area, Liam. I know you're a cat person. This has nothing to do with this race, but my cat has managed to get eye drops down in the bathroom sink drain, and my wife has fished it out.
Yeet.
There's Noah Jackson trying to close up an 8-second gap. Right now, at this stage of the game, might be a little bit of a tall ask, but I mean, one caution could change all of that, for sure.
Yeah, give these guys a chance to get on fresh tires, see what happens, but I don't know, man. Mark Gonzalez is on fire. He's got an 18-second lead as of right now, and he is putting down lap times 3 to 4 tenths quicker than Noah Jackson is. Going to get around Adam Stewart. I think Peyton Holland's got a bit fresher tires, so we'll see if he's going to be able to make a move and get around at the 8. But Tom Bourne is not too terribly far from going a lap down here with 30 laps to go next time around.
I mean, this is unheard of. This is unheard of. So last week, you know, an absolute, I think, a race of the year candidate, you know, with Ryan White at Watkins. This week, he says, you know what, I'm going to back up my win last week, and with 30 laps to go, he has put all but 2 drivers 1 lap down. And I'm pretty sure if he had an out-of-body experience, he could probably put himself a lap down.
Yeah, it's definitely been one of those days for Mark Gonzalez where you can do unbelievable things with the race car that you didn't view as possible. Matt Mettler has jumped onto the hauler.
I was going to say he had his fun meter pegged out, so it's Chris Adams, the Red Line Racing team, has effectively decided to pack it up and start drinking beer. So. 8 laps to go. And I believe that's Tom Bourne just getting a little bit bigger in the windshield of Mark Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez is shifting.
Oh, deep for sure.
He's about a second and a half up the road from Gonzalez is Tom Bourne. And it's another 3 seconds up to Noah. I don't know, man. I think he can do it. He's got enough time.
And the 8 car, Mark Gonzalez. You know, he started in 24th, and he's led 104 laps so far. 26 laps to go.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Ryan White getting around Tom Bourne.
Run, Tom, run.
I don't think he can run fast enough. Mark Gonzalez gets right to the rear bumper of Tom Bourne, coming up off of turn number 2. Gonzalez going to try the outside here, might try to cut down and get that inside run coming up off of the corner. Tom trying to block a little bit to keep him back there. Tom all the way down to the bottom, trying to keep that 8 machine back behind him, trying to stay on the lead lap. Side by side here down the back straightaway, and Tom is fighting for his life here on the lead lap. Gonzalez slides up the racetrack. Tom Bourne all over the quarter panel. Not much he can do there. Gonzalez puts him down a lap, and now it is just Mark Gonzalez and Noah Jackson on the lead lap.
22 laps to go. Noah Jackson 19 seconds behind. Mark Gonzalez coming to get 21 to go.
Absolutely phenomenal drive out of this 8 machine.
What a run here, Noah Jackson. Got a tall order, and like we said, a caution can easily change that gap for Noah Jackson. Noah Jackson trying to close in just a little bit, 20 laps to go, 20 miles to go for the 8 car of Mark Gonzalez. What a run he's had all night long, 19 laps to go to the
Trying. I don't know what he's trying. I don't know if he's trying to put that 87 a lap down, or if he's just hanging out on cloud 9 or cloud 8 in his case. But thing is looking pretty stout here coming up off of turn 4. It's about a 10th a lap quicker than Noah Jackson at this point.
Yeah, it's 18 laps to go. Mark Gonzalez continuing to. Mark Gonzalez saying we're going to take a look back to the field. See if there's any other good battles we got going on here. Got a battle between Patrick McQuaid leading up with Greg Wood Jr.
Davies behind him trying to close in.
Laps to go. This is insane. Mark Gonzalez continues to drive away. 20 seconds is the gap between Mark Gonzalez and Noah Jackson. We're watching Matt Davies. Well, there's Greg Wood Jr. behind Matt Davies, so.
Yeah, he's sitting right behind him on the racetrack, but that's a 2 spots difference in front of him. Patrick McQuaid is somewhere in between the 32 and 67.
13 laps to go. You're not missing anything up in the front of this field as Mark Gonzalez is putting him on a clinic, if you will.
Yeah, incredible stuff there out of the 8. Greg Wood Jr. gets around the 32 map 4 position. That's Wood sitting in 5th place. Matt Davies in 7th.
Second, 11 laps to go here. We're getting down to the final 10, Liam. And there's the interval. Mark Gonzalez now 21 seconds ahead of Noah Jackson. I mean, look, all I'm saying is, at this stage of the race, with 10 laps to go, if you're Mark Gonzalez, you could probably go get a cup of coffee, come back and still have the race lead.
Yeah, he might be able to. Noah Jackson finds himself in a little bit of traffic now. 10 laps to go, going to be 9 at the stripe for Mark Gonzalez. He is still just a little bit quicker than Noah in the 87, second position. Noah's got himself a little bit of traffic to deal with at the moment.
Just 4 cautions for 12 laps tonight. Mark Gonzalez continues to lead. 7 lead changes taking place as we are working laps 2:53. 8 laps remain here at Dover Downs.
Coster gets up into the wall there. I don't think that's going to affect too much on the racetrack. He stays up and out of the way of the race leader. Coming to 6 laps to go for Gonzalez. .22 seconds is the gap. Oh, into the wall goes the 15 right in front of the leader, and there was some contact. That bent in the front of Mark Gonzalez's car.
Oh, no.
5 laps to go. We'll see how it affects the handling. Tom Board has a meatball flag. He might have lost a tire. He came in before anybody else did on 198.
You gotta wonder if that's gonna affect that 16 car. He's gonna bring it on pit road.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
And with 4 laps to go, Liam, that will effectively end his race.
Yes, it will. And it looks like Gonzalez is able to get away from that contact fairly clean here. He's got 3 laps to go across the stripe. 3 miles for Mark Gonzalez. He's just hoping to bring it back to the white flag. Two more times around for Mark Gonzalez, and at this point, no need to risk anything, no need to push anything, or be near anybody. Probably didn't even think he was pushing anything with that 15, but just the way that things worked out. Hard contact with the wall and nowhere for the 8 to go. He's going to come up off of turn number 4, take the white flag one more time around here at Dover. Last week, Mark Gonzalez dominated. But towards the end of the race, a couple of mistakes, a couple of off tracks, a spin. Ryan White got the chance to send it in the final corner. A 360, some wall contact. Mark Gonzalez put it back in gear and drove it away. This time is not so controversial. He's going to get it done by 20 seconds here in Dover. And 2 drivers finish on the lead lap. Mark Gonzalez, and it's going to be a little while before we get Noah Jackson coming back around Thad Teasley finishes third. Greg Wood Jr. in fourth. Patrick McQuaid in fifth. And now Jackson comes across the stripe to finish in second. A total of 19 seconds back after Gonzalez backed it off. Matt Davies in sixth. Zach Woods in seventh. Tom Bourne in eighth. Jeff Kleinsma ninth. And Dalton McKinney round out the top 10. Charles Whitehead, Adam Stewart, Wes Fuller, Charlie Childress, Caleb Collins, Justin Hutchison, Peyton Holland, Cameron Coster, Ryan White, and Matt Metler in the top 20. Followed by Chris Otto, Brock Whitehead, Tim Henderson, Chris Hubka, Bill Hagan, Cole Martin, Joseph Grijalva, and Johnny Williams, and Tyler Bentley round out the field. Some love from second to first, and now we're going to watch Mark Gonzalez burn it down.
I do
Truly
love
is
that burnout cam.
It's truly a dominating run here, too. I mean, you just cannot overstate that.
Liam, the last time that car number won at Dover was 2001.
Some pretty good company.
That he is. As we await our top three into the booth.
How many laps did Gonzalez end up leading there?
Well, it's a good thing you asked. Let's do this. He led, let's see here. Nope, let's go this one. And let's get rid of that. Now let's go there. 129 laps led for
So almost
Gonzalez.
half of the race.
Almost. Almost half of the race. What an absolute clinic that he just put on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he had, underneath that thing or behind the wheel, but that driver really made it all work here today, and incredible stuff there.
And speaking of Mark Gonzalez, I think he's ready to have a chat with you.
Yeah, Mark, it's Liam and Alan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I got a copy.
Well, I tell you what, man. Last week was a little bit spicy at the end, but there was nothing controversial at the end here. You lead 129 out of 260 laps. First off, how does it feel to win in such a dominating performance? You and Noah were the only drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, it felt good. I was just trying to, keep the lap times down and be more consistent, and I really feel like that helped me out a lot today, especially on the long run. I know Tom had a really fast car on the short run, but I betted on the long run, and it paid off in the end.
We saw you didn't put down a qualifying lap. You started in 24th, and Alan and I joked a little bit. You might have to get a 23andMe sponsorship because you passed 23 cars, and then it was just you.
Yeah, I like to. I don't know if it's just a ritual thing, but I just always start from the back. It's just my way of having fun, and it helps me learn the car more and what to do around the track. And so that's just what I do.
That's just what I do is honestly got to be the statement for this race, man. I mean, once you took the lead, the only time you lost, it was on green flag pit stops. And even then, every time you came off of those cycles, you had increased that gap by a couple of seconds. We did notice there was some contact there at the end with the 15. What did that do to the car? And did that kind of give you any nerves about moving forward with the end?
At that point, I was just trying to lap everyone down, and I was trying to catch Noah at that point. And once I had got that front nose damage, I got really tight off at exit, so I was just trying to settle down at that point.
But you had a phenomenal run here. You and Noah were the only drivers on the lead lap. Who do you want to thank for such a strong run here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Chris Hupka for putting on an amazing league. I know he does a lot in behind the scenes, and I also want to thank my Ruse Racing team. They support me in a lot of ways, and I can't thank them enough for being on part of my team. And I also want to thank y'all for putting on the broadcast. I know how much time y'all put into this and take time away from family. So I just want to thank y'all for commentating on the race.
Well, awesome stuff, Mark. That's 2 in a row for you. Go ahead and celebrate with your team.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, now we got Noah Jackson up here with Alan.
No, it's Alan and Liam in the booth. How's it going?
It's going good. How about y'all?
Man, look, second place, not a bad night here, as you were, kind of trailing there. You looked like to be the odds-on favorite. Take us to that race of what more you could have needed out of that race car to have a chance at Mark Gonzalez.
I don't think even if I had grip packs, I would have had anything from Mark. I had no idea how he was so fast. And
Yeah, I mean, it looked like that car was on rails. Your car looked like it was on rails too, and you made that pass on Tom Bourne, and it looked like you needed a caution, but as I digress, and we head deeper into the season, for next week. What's your mindset as we continue to move forward through the season? Is it trying to get more race wins, or just kind of play that consistency strategy?
I mean, wins are always good, but since we got it's not a win and you're in anymore, it's just straight consistency without stage points or anything like that. I mean, you're just gonna have to be consistent all season and just take what everything gives you and just hope for the best results that you can at the end.
Yeah, next week we head to Indy. What's your mindset as we head to the Brickyard for 200 laps?
200 miles.
I like Indy. It's just going to be aero dominant like it always has been, especially tonight. That was another thing tonight. You just had to have clean air, and if you wasn't the leader, you didn't have it. So we're just going to have to stay up front and keep track position and hopefully be there at the end.
I think we're only doing 200 miles, so get the laps.
Yeah, 200 laps would be 500 miles there, Alan, and I think we saved that one for May.
But nonetheless, once again, congratulations on a good run. Before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done on that number 87 car?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Hupkin Motorsports for everything that they do. Top It Off Sauce for the sponsorship. Whitehead Speed Wraps for the wrap. Chevy, we had some good power under the hood, and Dude Wipes for your needs after you get done with that hot sauce, because you definitely need it. It's just everybody that helps us out. Moza Racing, Simpson Pedals. Just everything worked good tonight.
All right, Noah, congratulations. And, well, Liam, I get to give out my first nickname like we do in dirt track racing. Hot Sauce Noah Jackson. Thank you for joining us here in the booth.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll bring up third place. Thad Teasley. It's Liam and Alan up in the booth. You got a copy.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, it was an eventful day for you. We saw you go back to the front, to the back, to the front a couple times. You started outside of the top 20, but you come home with a podium finish. How did the car feel out there, and what was it like racing up through the field like that?
The track balance I was struggling with. First run I was pretty good. Second run I got tight, and then I was just rolling with it. Third run, just trying to hit my marks and not burn up the right front. But other than that, the car felt good.
It definitely looked good out there. It seemed like that 33 machine was able to make passes up high and down low. What did you notice about the track changing throughout the course of 260 laps here?
What I noticed, I like to rotate the bottom all the way around. Well, I couldn't do that first couple runs, and then towards the end, I got back down low, and it just it just worked. And with the changes, when I went up high later in the race, I got way too tight, so I was pretty much stuck in the middle.
Well, do you think there was anything more you could have done to be able to try to get up there and fight with those top two?
Yeah, I could have used the downshift more. I was too worried I was going to spin it out, so I'll take that one, practice, and get better for the next one.
Well, awesome stuff, man. Who helps you get it done week in and week out on that 33? And what have you got for us next week in Indianapolis?
Well, hopefully I do a better job of qualifying, start up front, so I don't have to burn as much tire. Keep it nice and clean, and hopefully be there at the end.
You got any sponsors or shout outs or anything you want to give before we let you go?
No, sir.
Well, awesome stuff, man. We got a one-man show. Got it all done here. Got himself onto the podium. Ed Teasley gets it done here. Well, we'll be talking to you again hopefully next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, well, that's going to about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. A phenomenal race here at Dover. Started off a little rocky with the initial start and restart crashes, but once we got done with that, it was clean and green all throughout. Just a couple of cautions sprinkled in the middle. But a long run to make it to the end here.
Yeah, a non-contested Mark Gonzalez. If you would have told me that at the start of this race, I would have called you crazy. But great run by all of these drivers. A lot of talent throughout the field, but only one driver prevailed, and that was Mark Gonzalez. By putting him, or the only two drivers on the lead lap was Noah Jackson and himself. But Liam, it is time to get out of Dover and head to Indy. And as always, you get to land the plane.
Yeah, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in here live on Sim Racing Media. The EOL Race Wrap Guy Cup Series puts on an incredible show week in and week out. And this time, Mark Gonzalez just put on a much better performance than anybody. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here. Can't thank you guys enough. And to quote Cletus, do it for Dale and be like Biff. And to quote our friend Tony, as you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, folks.